This is the thing that always happens with when guests come in. We start talking. I mean, I can't assume you're just going to walk in the door and start talking. We obviously, we build a little rapport. We see each other for the first time and we start talking and we come up with all these great ideas and things that we're talking about. Then I'm just like, wait, stop. Let's save it for the podcast. It's such a tricky thing to do. It happens with everybody.
No, for
so
sure.
I just wanted to say welcome to people of Durham.
Thank you so much.
Sid. There's a lot to talk about. The primary reason, of course, you're here is because you're running for City Councillor Ward 5 in South Oshawa, which is a beautiful area. But before we get into a bit of the politics of that, I'd love to learn more about the man and what was the point that you thought, I want to run for office.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for this invitation first, and it's a pleasure to be here. This is my first podcast as well ever, so super excited about it. By way of introduction, my name is Sid Goyal. And just to give you a little bit of my background, I am Hindu, married into a Polish-Ukrainian family. I came to Canada on a scholarship back in 2015. I wanted to do my MBA, got a really nice score in GMAT.
Oh, very good.
And I was actually exploring the US, but then when Canada offered like an amazing scholarship, it made it ridiculously affordable for me.
Very good. Happy to have you here. Welcome.
Yeah.
And you've been here for long enough now. I don't have to say that.
Yeah. So I went to Ivy Business School, did my MBA there, and then worked in several industries afterwards and across multiple roles. So my first role was in marketing in an investment firm. Then I moved into more technology. My background is also in technology, actually. So prior to my MBA, I did my engineering in information and technology as well. So technology comes very naturally to me. So I pivoted. My investment company that I worked for, it was purchased, it was acquired by Sun Life, and then I worked in Sun Life for some time. And then I pivoted to technology, and currently my role is from marketing to CRM, and right now I'm into data analytics, and that's what I specialize in right now.
Nice. Yes. Sorry. Oh, that's okay. It's like this is real and raw. That's right. If you want, you can put on silent if you want. No, don't worry. My phone by default is always on silent, and if I don't have my Apple Watch with me, I will miss important calls if I don't have this to vibrate and tell me oh, Abby's calling. Okay, I better not miss that, right?
Now, to the other part of your question, why running and all of that. So I think couple of years ago, I had started studying a lot of history, and I'm an avid reader of books, so I explore books a lot. And one of the books that I came across was called Man's Search for Meaning. And the meaning of life is something which is big for me in general. So even if you look at some of the ancient books of Hindus, one of them is called the Bhagavad Gita. So when you read through it, you get a lot of good advice in terms of how you can give meaning to life. And I think what I realized was that living for the community is probably going to give my life a lot of meaning. And so it is primarily at the deepest level, that is what kind of motivated me. What can I do in order to make life better for myself and for the people around me? So with this thought in mind, I started, looking for volunteering opportunities. This was around last year. And I actually joined one of the organizations as well. So we would give out, food to the homeless folks, through the windows. Me and my wife both kind of joined, that organization. And then later on, I realized, what more can I do? I kept asking myself this question. And then, when I looked at all the issues that, we were having in our community, and I thought, I'm a very solutions-focused person. I'm always looking to optimize things, make things better, in general, where I work, in my life, to the point that I don't even think that, when my wife comes to me all the time for it, I don't even know if she's asking for solutions or just to listen to, that I just listen to her. So, but that's the kind of person I am. I'm looking to, solve problems. And then in terms of, giving meaning to life, what can I do better for my community? How can I make my community better? So those were some of the questions that motivated me to ultimately think about, running for office. And in terms of where to run for, where I live. That's where it should naturally start. And since I don't really have an experience in politics, but a lot of my circle, we're always talking about it, but we're always talking about geopolitical stuff, high level, big things, international relations, international affairs, and all of that stuff. Frankly, we don't really have much sway when it comes to that. So where can we begin to have a sway? Where can we have a positive impact? That is at the lowest level, and that I think is the municipality. So I just didn't want to be a talker all my life. I wanted to actually do something about it, because otherwise, it's easy to judge politicians. That's kind of how I feel.
Yes.
It's just so easy to, judge people when they are in power. But can you make an impact? I think that is the question that I asked myself, and I say, okay, I need to test the hypothesis then. So that's kind of what motivated me to run for office, and here I am now.
Very good. Amazing. That's a very honest answer. And what an amazing way to, exactly. It doesn't matter that you don't have any experience in politics. And in many cases, it's actually in some cases, it's great to have an outside view to come in and to bring new ideas to the table, right? And like you said, you're a problem solver. You got your MBA. You knew where you wanted to go with the least, amount of financial commitment, which was Canada and et cetera, right? And you're a go-getter, and it's not an easy thing to do getting an MBA. And with the analytics and the data that you were working with, was it like macro data, micro data? Was it anything that's interesting to take note of? Yeah.
It's a skill that you need to develop. Once you get into data analytics, you just become very comfortable looking at it, it didn't come naturally to me, I have to say, looking at all the, ridiculous numbers. So nowadays, I'm very comfortable looking just at data. I don't even need to look at charts, for example. I can look at the numbers by themselves and see, how things are looking and so on. And I think over a period of time, I have realized, I used to be a big skeptic myself earlier, but having worked with data, I've realized data-driven decision-making along with, insights and intuition and experience, I think that's the best combination. You cannot have just somebody, who looks at data and does not have any context in terms of the numbers themselves. But when you combine data, you can really focus and optimize and so on. So this is where I feel like data analytics can be a big thing. One more thing which I would like to point out here is when people talk about data analytics, we're primarily talking about numbers as they exist. But I can't remember who it was, but somebody said, I think it was on X, some famous person, and I'm probably paraphrasing and butchering this, but the idea is that there is a lot of scope in generating data as well. I'll give you an example. Let's take public safety, for example. How do we optimize our forces so that they can deal with this issue better? Now, you would be led to think that maybe in some ward or some area, if you don't get any complaints, then probably that area is great, right? And that's what you will be lulled into believing. But maybe, as you knock on doors, you realize people have given up, right? So that's what you realize when you actually go to the doors, which I've been doing, right? I've been door knocking as well. So that's kind of what you realize, people have given up. But now I also attended another, it was a little conference, and some veterans of the police force were attending it. And they talked about something very interesting. It was about reporting in a completely different context, right? They talked about reporting. Now, what I'm saying is that people don't need to give up on reporting even if no action happens. There's the portal, Durham community portal as well. You should go there and keep on reporting things, because what happens is ultimately those this reporting that people do, that becomes a trend. Trends are harder to ignore rather than compared to an isolated incident, right? So there's a lot of scope in engaging our community to even develop data points, but we first have to kind of identify what those could be. But this is the kind of thinking that we need to bring to the table, that everything, and when it comes to generation of data, we need to look at generation of correct data as well. Are people reporting enough, or have they given up? Or is the data actually telling us the right story? If people are not reporting as much, then why is that the case? Does that really mean that the crime has actually gone down, or have people actually just given up on things? And we also have to look at second order effects of that happening, because again, so if we continue our story further, let's say people start reporting data in their neighborhood, they take my advice. What would happen in the short term? The reports will spike. They'll see a spike. What happens to the market prices of houses there? Initially, it goes down. But what happens in the long term then, right? This neighborhood becomes safer. Because now you have a trend. Assuming, of course, the trend is being seen by the police.
Yes.
Right? So over a period of time, if the trend becomes hard to ignore, resources are deployed more optimally, all because of, the right data that we now have. So over a period of time, hope will be that the neighborhood will become safer because people are now reporting more. It becomes, just not the place where criminals would enjoy doing crime. Right. You know what I mean? So in the long term, the neighborhood prices will rise. But in the short term, are you willing to take the pain? That's a question that, we kind of have to ask. So that's a rather, long-winded.
That's brilliant. Yes. And just to bring it back and summarize, you've got ambitious dreams and goals of changing things, like you said, with friends and colleagues on a bigger level. But you start at the bottom. You've got to do things municipally, and that's where a change can be made. And that's why I've had so many candidates and politicians rerunning to be councillor, and actually I've had a few mayors even come on too, so that even like this little bit. I don't expect, thousands and thousands of people to be seeing this, but even if you can change a few minds and it goes in the right direction, that's a net positive result
100%,
for all of us, right?
100%. There's a saying in Hindu book of Bhagavad Gita. It's a Sanskrit saying. It goes like karmarnevadhikaraste ma faleshu kadachana. What it means is, you are only responsible for the work that you do. The results are not in your hands. So that's kind of the gist of this phrase. And I think it's a very wise kind of a teaching, at least for me, and a lot of Hindus as well, that we need to keep on working. The results will follow. But we cannot just keep expecting results. We cannot just work expecting results immediately. Like, they will follow. If you keep doing the work, the results will follow. That's right.
Yes, absolutely. That's a very good point. Yeah, I mean that's incredibly interesting. And living in Ward 5, right? You're running in the ward that you live in, of course. What are some things that you think need to be changed, and that you think you can help bring to, what are the biggest things?
So safety is one of the biggest things that I already talked to you about. So when I knock on doors, I was actually giving an example of what people were telling me. That we don't really call anymore because either they're too late to come, or like people giving up. So I think safety is one of the things. Now, if we combine what is going on, like if we talk in general about Ward 5 and like South Oshawa in general, we combine homelessness and safety concerns. In total, like, that is one issue. Road closures currently is a big issue as well. I don't know how much you're aware, but a lot of the roads in South Oshawa are currently closed, and that is creating a lot of issues.
Why are they closed?
Well, for development purposes.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Uh-huh. So I'm not opposed to development.
Oh, sure.
But by all means, that needs to happen as well. So, but think of like multiple stakeholders, multiple agencies working on the same road at different patches. So they have closed the roads, some of the roads, in different points. So some of the residents are really feeling trapped right now. And once again, I am not a believer in, in finger pointing, but I am a believer of learning. You need to learn from your current experience so that in future, you can always improve and optimize. Yes. So I think right now, and I've written a little article on this on my website as well, in terms of what can we learn from this experience today so that in future, development is not going to stop, right? And it should not. I mean, you need to widen your roads and so on. So all of that will happen. What we can do better though in future is managing expectations, communicating it in advance. I think agencies, I would like to think these are big projects, so they would have plans for road closures way in advance of when they actually do close them, right? So can we have those plans in advance? Can people expect what will happen? And then can they adjust, mentally to what they need to do in order to not feel as trapped? Because again, development is not going to stop, right? Yes. That's just going to continue. So what can we do today? I think communication can be bettered. Communicating in advance can be, made better. And the other thing is, can we also do kind of like a cumulative impact assessment? Because I do feel like on some of the roads, one agency is working on one part, another agency is working on another part. The cumulative impact of that is big, right? So can we have like some kind of a dashboard or something to that effect, which can actually help us assess what would be the cumulative impact when schedules are kind of, clashing as well, so that we can, optimize for schedules maybe. So that's one aspect that I think we have an opportunity on building. And this is something that I personally feel the city can take some play a role in, like take some more initiative. But again, it's coming from naive thinking. I don't know everything, right?
Of course, yeah. Well, it's great though. I mean, especially in the summertime when there's festivals and events happening, especially like towards like the waterfront in Oshawa, the beach. Speaking of too, there's like this beautiful new park where there's like an amphitheater and beautiful garden, and I forget what it's called though, but it's on the way as you go down to the beach. And so if you have roads that are blocked and you're like trying to get down there.
Exactly. So that's like one aspect, right? Now on the community safety and homelessness issue, so I kind of studied what some other cities did. One of the cities its name is High Point. So there's a whole case study on High Point, the city in the US. Different cities and different situations. I want to be very clear on that, right?
Okay.
You cannot just, completely replicate. One city situation is very different from the other cities.
Yes.
However, I think step one can be replicated. What was step one in High Point? So High Point was dealing with a lot of open drug use, safety issues, and all of that. And they did a great job in, managing it and fighting it. How did they do it? They brought all stakeholders on the table. And then told the users and the criminals, okay, we are going to give you one last shot. You need to, clean up your act, or else, we are going to file charges against you, if you do indulge in those activities. So I'm not saying we do this. I'm saying as a first step, we need to bring in all the stakeholders. There are basically, I would say, two kind of stakeholders when it comes to these issues. One are looking for short-term solutions. Short-term in the sense that there is a short-term situation, and then there's the long-term situation. The short-term situation is public safety, open drug use. So there is that. There are those who advocate for stronger public safety measures, and then there's that group that advocates for both, for long-term solutions. We need to address housing issues, mental health issues, and all of that. Obviously, both sides are correct.
Yes.
Right? But they only advocate for their own points. So what I'm saying is, I think, I don't even know like if both the sides have sat together and found a solution to the problem. So as a first step, I don't know why the city can probably facilitate this. They bring in the police officers, they bring in housing advocates, they bring in mental health professionals, they bring in whoever else, like even like, the addicts as well, the people who are homeless, listen to them as well, right? Bring all the stakeholders together. Like, is that so hard? I don't know. Maybe it is, but it sounds easy, no? I don't know. I mean,
I've seen events come together really quick with like a less than a week's notice that municipalities have been able to pull together. So I feel like it's certainly possible, even if not all parties can make it. But that's a great first step is the inclusion of all parties and all voices, and not to bar none at all.
Exactly. Like, and everybody has a legitimate voice on the table. Housing advocates, they are right. Public safety advocates, they are right too. But the people who are actually, suffering, the homeless folks, they have a voice on the table as well. So do the residents who feel unsafe in downtown or in different, when they, like I've spoken with grandmothers who are very hesitant to send their grandkids to the parks.
Right.
Because they see all the, the needles and all of that. So those grandmothers and parents, they deserve a seat on the table as well. They are stakeholders too. Businesses are stakeholders too. Bring all the community, the entire community together, and then see, where we go from there. So that was point one. Like, that's the step one that High Point did. I guess their strategy was like far more
strict.
Yeah, that's the word, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not advocating for that though. Like,
Right.
I don't know, because I think, again, different cities, different sensibilities. So I wouldn't go, that far yet. But I think as it will be great if we can work together on it, rather than, everyone speaking in silos and only advocate. Like, everybody acknowledges the other side.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. The housing advocates and all of those folks, they will acknowledge the public safety side. Public safety side will also acknowledge the housing safety. But it's like one thing gets prioritized, for each side
Yes.
more. Like, so they advocate for one thing a little bit more. So I'm just saying, like, let's all come together on one table in one conference maybe, and then figure out like if there is a middle road we can, that might be, beneficial. Like, I think that is a good step to solving this issue. So that's
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So, as you're saying all this, it makes absolute sense. To actually get things done, you need to listen to all sides, and you may not be able to do everything, but you can choose at least a first step that solves many things, at least to begin with, if not all. And sometimes it can be a solution that both sides or the multiple sides actually agree with. Like, that's a great first step.
And I think when we get together and we're talking to each other, we will climb down on our strongest positions as well. I think we will see reason, in the other side too. Most of the times we develop these strong positions because we are mostly talking in echo chambers. So that's what happens. So I think we need to break that echo chamber. Is it echo?
Yeah.
So we need to, get out of our own respective echo chambers and talk to the other side.
Well, it's very true. And I really liked what you said. There's something you said, which was like you're coming to this to this candidacy without a fight. You just want to solve problems. And what I'm seeing, not everyone, but there's a few for sure, where it becomes almost like a personal fight against each other, and it's like, I can do better. Well, they're missing the point completely. Is that it's not really about what you think you could do better. It's about what just needs to get done.
I feel like, here's the thing. I have a lot of respect for, anyone who has been an incumbent or is an incumbent. Why? Because I have not been in their shoes. And maybe this is, again, me being very naive here. But unless I have been in their shoes, like, I can only talk about solutions as I see the situation as a whole.
Yes.
And how we can improve things from here on. Because I feel like every individual works on incomplete information to the best of their abilities.
Right.
And I like to give benefit of the doubt to everyone. Everyone who has been a counselor or wants to be a counselor believes in community, serving the community. They're not here for power or anything like that, right? Like especially at municipal level, I feel like everybody who is working currently or is a candidate, there is something bigger that they want to do for their community. That's why they came into the public life.
very
So
true.
I have a lot of respect for anyone who is currently incumbent. Of course, this is a political season, so
Yes.
it's natural sometimes for things to get a little bit heated up, but and maybe it will happen. But right now I'm trying my best just to focus on solutions mostly, but we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing you said too was the reporting trail and creating this train of reports. And you mentioned a site that people can go to.
Yes.
And that's an existing thing,
Yes,
right?
yes.
See, I didn't even I don't know, maybe I'm just ignorant.
Yeah,
but
so-
I feel like a lot of people don't know about this.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
So Durham region police actually has a portal where you can go and submit a report, which is like non-emergency report about
Yes.
community safety.
Right.
So if a lot of people start doing that, then that's when the powers and the police, and they will start paying. Well, I'm sure they're already paying attention, but it will just become easier for them to justify allocating resources. Because at the end of the day, I mean, we have to empathize a little bit with the police as well. Like there's only
Yeah,
so
of
many
course.
resources where a lot of crime is happening. They need
Yes.
to prioritize as well. So totally understandable. But if my thing is like, I think the community get involved in solutions as well, and it only takes like 5 minutes. So why not? Very recently about road closures, I only posted something yesterday that when road closures occur, we can submit a report to Google, and then it can know a little bit in advance or early that the road is closed. Of course, it verifies everything based on traffic reports as well, whether the traffic is flowing or not. So I did that yesterday with one of the road closures, which was not being reported at that time.
Yep.
And within an hour, I saw that they were showing. I'm not saying like it happened because of my report, but
Could have been.
it could have been. It could have been, right? So there's no harm. Again, I spent like less than 2 minutes to just tell Google that this road is now closed, and I think everybody can spend 2 minutes,
Yeah.
just to do that. But you need to actually know,
Exactly.
that
Right.
this is something that you can do. So,
Yeah.
So
And
when
if-
I come across these things, I just share it with the public, and yeah.
Well done. Yeah, that's amazing. It's so funny. I'm like, inviting all of these candidates on because it's an election year. It only happens every 4 years. So the podcast, it started off with interesting people and businesses, and then the past half of a lot of them have been politicians, but it's fine. But that being said, I didn't even know about this thing. Like, and in my mind, what I'm envisioning is a reporting system that like almost like tallies and categorizes issues and concerns, but maybe I'm just thinking.
No,
of some-
those things are definitely there as well for the in the police portal. I think they do have the categories. I haven't explored it myself. Myself, like I haven't submitted a report myself on the police portal. I don't think where I live, like I have come across like any public safety issues, concerns myself. I have seen that in other areas though, like people have told me about it. But yes, it does exist, and I think yes, they do have categories. And there is a dashboard, the police dashboard, which there's a crime dashboard that exists as well. So one can look at it as well.
That's great. It's all, especially if it's all publicly viewable.
Oh, yeah.
And there's no shadow of crime. There's always going to be a shadow of crime, but there's no nothing is hidden. Like here's the data that we've received, and it's for everyone to go and find within 5 seconds. I think that's super powerful, especially if that's something that truly does exist. And then you can start seeing, okay, like this issue has like 150 people that are saying that they're complaining about it. Well, yeah, that should
Exactly.
Then then you go to council and you say, well, my constituents and
Yep.
my stakeholders are saying this is the biggest issue. What can we do?
And yeah, the numbers will kind of make your case for you. Numbers always make your case for you.
Yeah, very
So,
cool.
Absolutely.
So you're coming from a tech and data background, and I love that that's being intertwined with politics as well and solving our everyday. So yeah, go ahead. You want to say something there? Yeah.
Yeah, well, tech and data is good, but at the end of the day, I mean, you kind of have to, like, I think knocking on doors and actually listening to people, that is kind of important as well, when it comes to politics, because you can't just.
Well said.
It's. I don't want to use the word inhuman. I don't know what the right word is, but it's very, like, you can't be all mechanical. You can't be all like robotic about, okay, like everything is numbers, everything is data. No, the data tells a story, but it's always like there's a human being, behind that data. So when you talk about like crime stats or whatever it is, it's always like, it's always a human story. So that human connection is very important as well when it comes to politics. Yes, you can, these are powerful technologies that must be leveraged to solve very human problems. That's kind of how I see it.
Makes sense. Thank you for clarifying that before committing too much to something. I think that's fantastic. Data is just a measurement to help solve things, but it all starts with the human and human problems and issues that we need to solve. I'm always an analogy kind of guy. So it's like, you buy a car, the car is the community, and you want to go on a road trip to a destination, but the gasoline meter just tells you how much you have available to get to your destination and how much does gas cost and all that. So, that's a terrible analogy, but like, data is only like one tiny piece of it's just a measurement tool to see.
Exactly. It's there to make your case, but the case that you're making is for your community. So you want to make a case for your community. Hey, 10,000 people have been complaining about this. So the number definitely is 10,000, but you're solving problem for the community first of all. And that's super important.
Right. Well said. So we've got the first one was like road closures and the ability to maybe have development companies and construction companies be able to just communicate with each other better and be able to schedule road closures better to not block and make people feel trapped. That's absolutely a great thing. There should be something that exists, but even if it does exist and then that's still happening, though, is not
to my knowledge at least. Like, think about it, right? Like, you have multiple stakeholders. You have the city, you have MTO, which is the Ministry of Transportation, which at the province level, and you have the Metro Links, like multiple agencies doing road constructions, widening different projects.
Yeah, the GO train. So there's a lot happening right now.
And they work in silos, right? If one agency is working on something that they don't care about the impact on the residents, but I feel like that is kind of the responsibility of the city in terms of what will the impact be on the residents.
Yes.
And I think that's something which we need to solve for.
Yes.
Yes, these development projects will happen, but maybe we as a city can take initiative in terms of coordinating things better or not, because ultimately it is the residents who are impacted. That's my, again, view.
Right. Yeah. And that's such a tricky thing to even do too, to just, of course, to allow development to continue, which you want, of course. You don't want to, it's been decades with this GO train extension. We don't want another, we don't want to postpone it anymore. But then, there's all these other kinds of things that need to be done too. So.
In fact, one of the schedules was advanced. So that's actually a good thing. But again, when you think about it, the pain for the customers also got, sorry, not the customers, but the residents also got advanced a little bit, because I think now there was some bigger cumulative impact overall. But so again, painful in the short term. But
even just in general, I'm a big. It's horrible to say, but I'm a fan of short-term pain for quicker, long-term enjoyment and happiness. Unfortunately, I mean, would you rather be bedridden, sick for a month, or have overnight one really bad month? I'd rather the one really horrible night instead of a month of pain.
That's the classic marshmallow experiment. Do you know about the marshmallow?
No, please tell me. Maybe I do, but
so I think there's a book as well on this, the marshmallow experiment. So what they did was I think they had like so they would bring a child into a room.
I've heard of this, but please continue.
Yes. So they would offer them, okay, you can have one marshmallow now, or have 2 marshmallows after I come back. So I'm gonna leave the room. You can have 2 marshmallows later. So the kids who chose 2 marshmallows did better in life. I think they kind of tracked their lives.
Yeah.
Compared to the kids who were for instant gratification.
Yes, right.
So it's a very famous, I think it was Stanford, I can't be sure, but it's a very, very interesting book in terms of, how instant gratification or delaying gratification is a marker for success.
Right, yeah. And, when you raise a child, because, not all of those children, and there's all kinds of personalities as well, too, so it's a completely mixed bag, but you give your child a better chance by raising them in a way that you can tell them, like, short-term pain for, you'll get 2. If you eat the 1 marshmallow now, you're not getting 2. Then you're just going to have the 1.
Bingo.
There's so many cool experiments that we're doing, with like chores and unloading the dishwasher with our 2-year-old, and it's really fun. And sometimes there's no negotiating with this little 2-year-old terrorist. But which is every sense of the word completely true. It's just complete chaos. But sometimes when she's in a good, it's just 2, of course. I think, like I said too, like lots of personalities and every kid's different. But I think that if you raise your kid and you start young and you start early, then you have a better chance for raising a human being that's going to make better choices. And that is synonymous with a city as well, and a ward and a neighborhood. Because if you make those tough decisions now and you make as many people as possibly happy, you may anger majority temporarily, but then you make everyone happy eventually much more.
That's true. Yeah. And I think in general, like this whole experience has also kind of taught us as a community that, we can probably, this is learning, hindsight is 2020 from that perspective. No finger pointing or anything, but in future, how can we manage things better, foresee things in advance? Whatever we plan for today, as they say, what's the saying? I can't remember. Like planning is...
Something like plan for today, but prepare for tomorrow. I don't know. Where like you can plan as much as you want.
Exactly.
But then all of your plans are going to go out the window.
Until you get punched in the face. I think Mike Tyson said something like that.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually. Yeah, I think there's different versions of this saying, but that's a good one. Yeah. You can plan as much as you want, but wait until you get punched in the face. Then what are you going to do?
Yeah. But still, I think planning is super important.
Yes.
Just so that, we are able to pivot whenever needed and manage expectations better. So all of that, I think matters. So anyway, so I think this is, I hope that, we all can learn as a society from this experience that we are having.
Yeah, absolutely. Amazing. So those were 2 points. Better communication with road closures in general, I think, which is awesome. And it's pretty niche and specific enough that it's a great thing. And on your website too, I think it's sidgoyal.ca.
Elect Sid Goyal.
Elect Sid Goyal, thank you. .ca. You have a blog where you've already, your platform's live, basically, right? And it may change over the course of the next couple of months, but it's live. It's there for people to see, which is awesome. A lot of the candidates I've even had on are like, platform to be determined, which is fine, but
a lot of it is based on my own observations and chats, with the residents as well, right? Can I give one more example?
Yes, please. Yeah.
So I know there is I've been doing some research on this regarding property taxes as well. Now that's obviously
that's a huge one.
It's a huge one.
Before you continue too, literally before you coming here, I was on Facebook, and the current do you call what's the incumbent is who's currently in the council, right? So it's John Gray, right? Ward 5 city councillor. He made a post, and I'm seeing a lot of activity across all different councillors and everything, and I was delighted to see that he made a post. And then since that post has been made, I only saw a few negative comments, but maybe there was a few positive now, so I'm not throwing under the bus John Gray. But yeah, one of them was taxes, and Oshawa has the biggest, like the highest. I think it's like the highest taxes.
But I'm gonna, ironically, I'm probably sabotaging myself here.
Okay.
I'm gonna defend this, though.
Okay, let's hear it.
So I was also I'm aware of it. Oshawa has the highest property tax rate in GTA. But when you dig a little bit deeper, there's a reason for it. And there's not much I will criticize Oshawa on that. And there's a reason for it. Now, the home prices, and again, this is based on incomplete knowledge as well, because, it's very easy for me to just trash, the current council or whatever. Like, hey, why do we have the highest property taxes, when that is not the case in GTA? But there's a good reason for it. And if you want to be truly honest, the home prices in Oshawa are not as high as other areas in the GTA.
Yes.
But we want the same amount of service as well. The wages, to the best of my understanding, are not tied to property taxes. So naturally, the property taxes will be a little bit higher in Oshawa, and that is why you see them. So I'm not going to trash anyone here. Our property taxes are high, and they should be reduced, but through efficiencies, which is what I am advocating for, which is a position which I have articulated in one of my blogs as well. So can we find ways to reduce the property tax in Oshawa? But I don't think it's fair to ding or trash Oshawa that we have the highest property tax. That's the reason for it. Yes, we do have the highest property tax, but again, there's a reason. That is the reason. It doesn't make life any easy, though. I may be saying, okay, yes, we have the highest property tax, but there's a reason for it. But at the end of the day, when I knocked on some of the doors, one of the residents actually told me about their neighbors. They're on fixed income. People are having a hard time paying the property taxes, and they're thinking about selling their houses. That's what it has come to.
Oh my goodness.
For some of them, not for everyone, but this is kind of what they're contemplating. We can no longer afford even property taxes. That's kind of what I was told, by one of the residents as well. So I think it is a very good goal to have a property tax freeze. Reducing it, I don't even know if that is possible, but can we freeze it? Can we explore possibilities to freeze it at the very least? And the way to do that, end of the day, when you really think about it, it comes down to two things. One is you increase your revenue through other sources, or you cut down on your costs.
Right.
Cutting down on your costs, how do you do that? Well, the one way that I can think of right now is cutting down on personnel somehow and redistributing work. Maybe not necessary. So here's how it works, though. You don't lay off people. I'm not I think it's, I think it should be avoided at all costs. Layoffs, no. But can you offer voluntary departure programs to people, and only completely voluntary? If you want to take it, because a lot of people sometimes, they're, stuck in jobs. They do want to go out, but they don't have good resources or good packages to get out of their situation. So you always find some folks who will be, more than willing to take these packages. So that's something that can be tried at the very least. And then you can even assess, okay, this person is critical. We cannot let them go. So you keep them still. So while offering these packages, it is not a guarantee that, we will definitely let you go as well, right? But at least you can start by looking at, in some of these areas where we can, offer these packages, maybe at the corporate level, maybe there is redundancy somewhere. And then once people do leave, see if the work can get redistributed or maybe even cut out. Maybe it wasn't as necessary. Private companies do this all the time, right? And somehow the same amount of work or same amount of the outcome gets redistributed without ridiculous hours, an expansion in hours. What happens, generally speaking, is that you find out, okay, maybe you didn't need to do this in the first place, or maybe you didn't need to do this task in the first place. This task was redundant, and so on. I've also been criticized a little bit because I was also saying okay, so you can, offer these packages to folks. I mean, that's one way. And as a step 3, maybe you can, upgrade their skills and start using some of the new technologies. I specifically said, yes, let's bring in AI. And I got, criticized for it. You're being anti-human. Those are some of the comments that I got. But today I saw Burlington is actually employing AI in approving some plans. So I think it's residents or businesses that they can submit their plans, and then AI gives a basic check. And that has cut down on the approval time by half. That's kind of what I saw. I mean, I'll have to, kind of,
Yes.
keep me honest here. Like, I'm
Sure.
on this, because I literally saw that news today. I think it came out in April, though, as I was doing my research, before coming here. But it happened in April, and Burlington's councillors are very proud of it. They have introduced AI deployed AI for public service, and they're very proud of it.
Right.
And that is what will happen here as well, I think, in Oshawa. Once, like right now, I'm probably the only voice who has dared to even bring this topic.
To even mention
Yeah,
AI.
to even mention it.
I was just about to ask you about it too, and I think this is a fascinating topic because right now, at the moment, there's kind of two camps, and there's the completely anti-AI, and there's not two camps. Let's be honest. There's probably 20 and everything in between,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So let's not split the people. But there's people who absolutely hate everything about AI, and there's people that are using AI and deploying 20 different AI agents to run a 7-digit business, and everything in between.
Yep.
Majority of people are using LLMs as just like chat, and it's incredible. Like I remember in this very room, doing a course on for real estate agents. There was like 30 real estate agents in here. We have a big 300-inch projector that just projects, not a screen. And we were, it was, I mentioned ChatGPT. This was a couple years ago, I guess. Yeah, it was a couple of years ago. It's amazing how far we've come in just 2 years. And like majority of them, I don't think a single one. I think like one heard about ChatGPT. And nowadays, because I'm friends with most of them on Facebook, like all of them are using it now, and all of them are using it like Google, because it's
Gemini.
It's better than Google.
It's just embedded, right?
Even then, when you Google, Gemini comes up half the time
Yep,
if your search query is custom enough to prompt it.
In my case, I think it's like 90% of the times now.
Yeah. And so that aside, I've also read all of Frank Herbert's Dune books, and the which is a sci-fi science fiction novel, and it's also a very famous movie that's been coming out, and there's part 3 coming out. Dune? No, you have never heard of it.
Did you say fiction?
Dune, science fiction. Anyway,
Dune. Dune.
Dune.
Okay,
D-U-N-E.
the Timothée Chalamet movie.
Yes. No. Well. Yeah. Sorry. Yes. Yeah. That's right.
I see. I never saw the movie.
Timothée Chalamet. Yeah. With the giant sandworms and stuff. So the premise of that story is it's like 20,000 years in the future, but at around the 10,000 year mark, humans, all they did was, AI was like at its peak, and humanity, everything was done for them, right? To the point where there was just pleasure, enjoyment, and just whatever, right? In a kind of dystopian way, unfortunately. There was no real human progress, and everyone was just kind of just, in this science fiction. And I don't believe that's going to be where we go with this. But yeah, go ahead.
It just triggered a thought in my head regarding a conversation that I was having with somebody as well in one of the conferences that I attended. Remember I was just talking to you about this veteran police officer who was talking about reporting and all?
Yeah.
One of the speakers in that conference, he's a pastor, BJ Daniels, I think that's his name, if I remember. Like I met him as well. Really great guy.
Awesome.
He was a big advocate of guiding the youth, like how parents need to be more involved. And one of the things that we discussed was how with this great abundance, I think Elon Musk kind of alluded to what you just described in the Dune movie as this great abundance is going to lead to, and I think Obama also kind of mentioned something to that effect. It's going to lead to a sense of purposelessness.
Yes.
And what would be the second order effects of this purposelessness when we have great abundance, when all of our problems are, completely solved and everything? I don't think I will live to see, that era. But let's assume that, humanity comes to a point where this happens. Then what happens to the youths? Like, I think this is also going to be a challenge. Like, what happens? Like, are they going to become more drug addicted, or are they going to do something, better in life? So that's also something that the society needs to kind of at least start thinking about, and In the short term, we are going to see some consequences of that. So maybe we will not see the great abundance, but we might see a lot of jobs becoming redundant, including my own, maybe. Right?
Who knows, right? I have witnessed. You probably have too, but I have witnessed with real estate media. There is no longer a need for photo editors. We take our photos and a program does it now. It still costs money to do it, and there's a reason behind it. I understand the the reason for why it costs an X amount, because there's still costs incurred and involved. But there's entire companies that have vanished just in the past couple months, just because we've gotten to a point where a digital raw photo we use 3 brackets, but they can be edited into exactly what we need it to be. And it's gotten to a point that there's no longer a need for a human editor for that. So we're going to continue to see examples of that a little bit. But, and the point of the Dune universe is the fact that humanity, there's a small group of humans that essentially enslaved all of humanity, and they became gigantic robots. Cymex is what they were called, and it took all the remaining survivors of humanity to band together, go on a machine crusade, instill the Butlerian jihad, and vow to never use AI again. So no more ChatGPT, no more Claude.
I see.
And all technology minus spaceships being able to travel in full space. Everything else, all technology was dumbed down. There's no more smart fridges, nothing in the Dune universe. And that's an extreme example.
That's an extreme reaction, I would say.
Yeah, right. But we don't want to get to the point where that has to happen either, right? So we're going down like 2 potential paths where, and I think it's not likely, because I have a feeling that most AI is going to be curious and truth maximizing and wanting to progress throughout the universe in a sense of discovery and curiosity alongside humans, as opposed to
That's an optimistic view.
I hope so. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, please finish your thought, and then I'll share
and essentially, there's like, I won't go through them, but there's like 8 possible scenarios and outcomes. But yeah, like that's one. And so I feel like, and then like one is Terminator.
As the truth always is somewhere in the middle as well. So, when you think about, I have personally used Claude as well, in particular Claude Code, and I have been stunned by what it can do. Like I built my own website as well, so Sid Goyal was, I built it.
Very good.
Using Claude Code. I didn't really build it though.
Amazing. Yeah. How logical the reasoning is to build the website. It was beautiful. It's a beautiful website.
It is a beautiful website. And
it's simple and easy to navigate.
All was done by Claude Code. I told it what to build. That's it. I think I put in like a presentation or something, and it built it on its own, and it was just good to go.
And I should mention before we have a runoff of examples of how jobs are disappearing. There was, when I forget exactly what analogy this was, but essentially when, I don't know if it was the train that allowed people to go from East Coast to West Coast within like a half a day or a day, whereas beforehand it used to take 6 months, and you would sometimes people would perish and die on this going East Coast to West Coast. But when the train came, maybe a lot of jobs disappeared. People, horse carriages and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a great example. That's actually a great example.
New jobs came up. Yep. Train conductors, service people on the trains.
And then train to plane, but trains are still there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Trains are still there.
So it's kind of it's a natural progression of simplicity.
And I think we don't know how things will pan out, but at some point it might also happen that people might start appreciating real things more.
Yeah.
I'll give you one example. I wanted to change my mugshot in my own Facebook page. I asked AI to create it. It created a really nice mugshot, and it looked like me. I can even show it to you as well.
Is it on your election website?
Phone. No, it's not. I was just so hesitant to use it because it was fake.
I see.
But I took the idea from it. Then I actually asked my wife to click my mugshot in a similar way outside.
Amazing.
Right outside my apartment.
Very good.
My house. And right now, the mugshot that you will see on my Facebook page is the real one, which looks kind of similar to what the AI had generated as well.
But it was real.
It was real.
Amazing.
I just wanted it to be real.
Yeah, 100% real. Awesome.
A lot of people are using it, and I have nothing against it.
Sure.
Honestly, like, by all means, please go for it. Like, a lot of people do use AI-generated mugshots as well, because they look exactly like you now.
Yeah.
And they're great. They're awesome, right? So...
Yeah, I feel like there's like there's a shadow benefit from AI being able to use it to put your idea on paper.
Yeah.
And then you can go to, say you're hiring a contractor to do something, to want to do a job, but it's hard to convey what you're trying to envision to him, and then that gets lost in translation, and then the contractor is going to do something that you weren't expecting. Whereas like that you can use AI to just help with that. You know what I mean? Like
exactly. And as it gets easier to create digital assets, I think the real life assets, I don't know, maybe they will start appreciating more.
True.
Think of
walking in the park.
Yeah. or even like, something as simple as like we still value paintings drawn,
it's true.
By human beings. You can
Very
get like
so.
a really nice painting from AI as well. Right?
People are going to prefer the human one.
I think so, but I don't know. But I mean, I think you can probably get a print of a really nice AI painting, but does that really beat like a brush on a canvas? I don't think it does.
Right.
But maybe, it makes things more affordable for, folks who aren't.
I suppose. I mean, there's something to be said about the human achievement of doing something.
Yes.
With all the human intellect that we have available to us
Absolutely.
and physical capabilities.
Absolutely.
And then, if AI just paints the Mona Lisa in 3 seconds, it feels cheated and fake.
And
wrong.
I mean, where is the effort in that? For sure. But again, I think AI for efficiencies, maybe not such a bad thing, as long as it's, so in case of Burlington, as I was saying, coming back to the, how cities might be using it. So clearly like that will reduce frustration for people. If you're using AI for, quick clearance of projects or plans, AI.
Amazing.
But there could be false positives, there could be false negatives. Everything, nothing is perfect.
For sure. Yeah.
AI,
you can at least, you can input a bunch of data and then the AI, whatever, ChatGPT, you name it, Perplexity, Claude, Grok, doesn't matter.
Yep.
It can come back at least with, hey, here's the objective results. And, I'm not going to give you an opinion. Like the AI can even say that. You prompted me not to tell you what to do, but here's objectively what the results are. So you decide, like that'd be hugely.
And based on our, conversation right now, I think it's super important that, cities have a sound AI policy as well, which looks at all the aspects too. The human aspects, how, if there are going to be job losses, what will be the repercussions of that. But at the end of the day, like, I think some form of, if we are talking about using technologies, like all politicians talk about, we'll bring in efficiencies. How are you going to bring in efficiencies? Well, ultimately, it will be technology-based.
True, fair enough.
New technology is basically AI. Politicians are probably not going to poke the bear.
Yeah,
like
true.
I'm doing right now. But anyway, the point is that we will need sound policies on AI governance. And when I say AI governance, how we are going to use AI, don't mistake governance for like governance, but AI governance within the framework of the city.
Yes, so that
how we are going to use AI.
Yeah, so that people understand that that's not how the city is going to govern over you, how you're going to use it.
No. So AI governance simply refers to like how we are going to use AI, what guardrails we're going to put in order for it not to hallucinate or create issues and so on.
Right.
How we are going to make it more, I guess, inclusive as well,
sure.
so that it's it doesn't have too many biases and so on.
Yeah.
So those are some of the things that we need to start thinking about, at least.
Right.
So
Well, good on you for bringing it up, and I'm surprised it's not a topic that's happening more often, because I think most candidates are too afraid to bring it up, because then one of the immediate questions is, we don't want data centers. Well, yeah, no, I agree. I don't think anyone wants data centers, especially if they're dirtying the water,
Yep.
destroying the land. We've got enough warehouses.
But we need to prepare for even that.
Yeah.
We need to have a policy on that now, that eventually what will happen though, because if we haven't thought about these things, that it's going to dirty our water, what will happen? Some company will come and it will make these proposals. Hey, we'll give you multi-million-dollar deals, and the politicians will oh, we're getting multi-million dollars, and that's it, right? So we're going to use that money for the betterment of the city and so on. People are happy.
That's true.
And then they don't really know what is going on with the dirt, the water and all of those ecological issues that come with the data centers, right?
Yeah.
So we need to start thinking about these now, even if we don't act on them. We need.
Well, just like how you said before about bringing multiple groups together to at least talk about the problem. And so, for instance, with data centers, people think that there's no other solution than you have to build a data center, right? But in my mind, I've seen potential workarounds. Instead of building a 1 million square foot facility that's going to take up land for parks, nature, or homes and shopping and things we need to give reason to living as a human.
Exactly.
Instead, there's two other that I know of. There's two other very interesting solutions. There's either, how every home has a utility of power, hydro, gas, or some homes have well water, whatever, right?
Yeah.
What if every home had a little box of some sorts to help?
Very interesting,
right? So then instead of taking up a huge space, it's and people are going to hate that, because I don't want that junk connected to my house. That's fine, and maybe people can opt out of it, and that's totally fine.
I never thought of it.
Yeah.
But now that you mention it, I'm just coming up with some thoughts. This is
right.
I don't know whether this is a great idea or not, because I have not done any analysis, but I'm a big fan of what I call decentralization.
Yeah.
And this is a great example of, if it can be done. I don't know if it can be, but if this can be done, then this is a great example of decentralization as well. And what that does is, in general, that also makes your systems stronger. In fact, I wrote a little.
That makes sense.
So Ukraine, for example, right now in the war against Russia, it uses decentralization in a big way. So how it does it is, there is no single point of fault. The drones are being built in the kitchens of people. Yeah.
Right.
Like that. So something to that effect. So,
yes, of course.
So now there's never a single point of failure. So Russia can probably, destroy a few, facilities.
Yeah.
But you have millions of facilities,
If they were all being built in one location, that's an easy thing to solve.
So decentralization provides resiliency, in systems.
True.
So what you just mentioned in general, that's a good philosophy in general for other things.
Absolutely.
As well,
I think that's a very natural thing too. Beyond the human instinct of, wanting to progress with whatever it is you're trying to do, diversification, and not your eggs in all in one basket.
Exactly. Yep.
Right. But then also nature does a thing too, where it also spreads its chances like a flower, oh my God.
The pollen, the bees.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
Spreading its seed everywhere. Yep. So it's one day, I can't just take a chance on this small patch of grass. What if someone frickin' builds a fence here?
Exactly. Exactly. And I mean, no one is a better creator than Mother Nature.
Yeah, true.
We can only hope to even, be
absolutely. Yeah.
Anyway.
I think in the future, we're going to look back and, my grandchildren are going to be watching this and be like, Grandpa Pascal was onto something there with
100%.
Using the Fibonacci sequence, and this is how data centers need to be, propagated so that it doesn't strain the system and it doesn't piss people off.
Not to be that guy though. Fibonacci is actually the Indian series. You can Google it.
Is it?
Yes.
Amazing. I'm a huge fan. Actually, you know what's amazing?
Do it.
So,
You look it on
I will,
Wikipedia.
but on the back of my phone, this is so that's it's technically the circle of life, but it does also incorporate the Fibonacci sequence. And it's to iPhone case called from Dream, and it's called the Fibonacci from Dream, DREEM. And the gentleman that invented this is just like a literal genius.
Wow.
But anyways, yes. So
yeah, you can go to Fibonacci, like Google it, Wikipedia it, and you can find it out.
Fibonacci.
Yeah, series. And I think
series.
Fibonacci on Wikipedia, you can see its history. Like I can't remember the name of the mathematician who originally came up with it.
And were you saying he was a Hindi guy?
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
Thank you for your culture service.
No, it's now
Yeah.
acknowledged. It's now acknowledged.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So they say, it is called the Fibonacci series, but I guess if you look it up on Wikipedia, I think
Yes.
it should say like
If people don't know what this is, you need to Google the golden ratio, the
Yeah.
golden number, Fibonacci sequence, Fibonacci series.
Yeah.
Absolutely mind blowing that this thing even exists, and it's everything from like how a seashell, like the lines on a seashell to the spiral arms on a galaxy. It's all connected to this same number sequence, and I feel like if nature is in that span, all the way down to the microcosm too, like a seashell is not even the tiniest example. If nature is saying, here's how this shit works, I'm going to swear on my podcast, like maybe there's something there that we should replicate in order to solve our own problems.
Some people use that as an argument for a creator as well, right?
Yeah, totally.
So there's that too.
Yeah, there's some genius architect at work.
The god.
Even if it's not something conscious, it could be a power that's just like, this is how we do things.
I mean, it's an argument that is presented, and I mean, I love those debates as well, but I mean, nobody really knows.
Totally,
So.
yeah, 100%. I gotta admit, I've had no idea what we were going to be talking about walking into this podcast, and we're on God and the Fibonacci sequence, but that's beautiful because these are the things that people really deep down want to be able to experience and talk about. I don't think people get excited thinking about, I can't wait to debate about all the drug users across the street. No, of course not. And it's terrible that we can't be saying that about those people too. Those are human beings. I remember going to a gas station once and there's just a dude sitting down, nothing. I go inside, pay for my gas 7 years ago, and I come out with a sandwich and I sit down with him for like half an hour and I just listen to his story. Yep. And they're people too, and I think we need to help get them out of that rut. You know?
I think so. For that very reason, I told you about last year when I kind of volunteered with this organization. So one of the persons there who has been dealing with this situation, not dealing with this situation, but like dealing with the homeless and helping them out. He told me a very profound thing which has struck with me. He said, imagine your worst day, time that by 100. That is what they are feeling right now.
Every day.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's something that we need to think about, Having that empathy is important too. And I'll tell you something, the residents I speak to when I knock on doors, they are very discerning when it comes to who is a homeless person who needs help versus who is a nuisance creator. So they are very, discerning, that way as well. Right. So nobody here is like, anti-homeless, not in Oshawa.
No, I don't think
anybody, like everybody is very empathetic.
Right. Even if people,
as we should
even if people say something nasty online, like get those homeless people off the streets or something, like I've seen that a few times. Like I think deep down, they don't truly mean like doing harm to those people.
No, I don't.
They need help, obviously. Right?
Yeah. I also think that more can be done to encourage folks who are, dealing with addiction issues to encourage them to get help as well.
Yeah.
But again, it all comes down to, sitting on the table, understanding everybody's perspectives and,
Yeah, totally. So every time I try and bring up the list, we get, we divert to something. So roads. I'm going to do one word, roads, in the policy. And then, security and also like drug use and just feeling safe. What else is there?
Well, we also discussed, property taxes.
Okay, we did. Thank you. Yeah,
yes.
that's very true. A very obvious one, and you kind of alluded to there's like a reason to it being high, and let's summarize that real quick again, if we could. And
there's one more point which I do want to talk about.
Let's talk about it. Sure.
I think, as I was door knocking, I also kind of realized that a lot of the reputation and the PR of South Oshawa could be so much better.
True.
But it's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful place.
Right. Apart from the obvious that people make fun of the South dirty schwa, people say.
But it's unearned.
Right, I know. It's actually amazing. Like, you go and experience how
been to downtown Toronto?
Changed. Yeah, dirty Toronto, more like. Yeah,
right?
true.
So, so I think a lot can be done in terms of improving the reputation itself of South Oshawa. This is the place that I live, and I'm fairly proud of it as well, right? And I think that is something that we can all, do as well. I actually came across many people sometimes move from north to south as well.
Yeah, interesting.
That happens too. I've come across an example of that person. Generally, you see people moving towards the north as well. But maybe I'm wrong about it. Like, I don't know the
sure.
Yeah. But anyway, but the point is, I think we can do a much better job in general of changing the reputation of South Oshawa, because it's a beautiful place, great parks, great neighborhoods. Majority of them are really safe neighborhoods too, by the way. And that's what people don't understand. Like, I think they are kind of safe too.
Right.
Then we have the lakefront and the Lakeview as well. Lakeview Park is just, everybody comes to the Lakeview Park.
It's awesome. Literally, it's not quite like the Scarborough Bluffs, but it's close. It's, there's a lot of similarities there. There are high cliffs, and there's a lot of beauty, and there's a lot of trails.
Absolutely.
And
100%.
It's pretty awesome. Yeah,
100%.
it is. But I think I was just thinking about that, like how you're saying, like, we need to tell the people that South Oshawa is actually beautiful, but then actually, no, don't tell the people. Keep it a hidden secret. No. Of course, we want to tell everyone how beautiful it is, right?
Yeah.
And not just keep it for the people of South Oshawa.
Yeah.
And what are some ways we might be able to do that? Advertising, marketing?
I think so, yeah.
Right.
Honestly,
highlighting the local citizens and the things that are happening.
Just have a competition. I don't know. Just have a little competition. Make reels. Instagram.
Get the community to make those reels. Put them to work. No, of course. Reward them.
Yeah. Exactly. Right. So you can have a little competition. Maybe during the Fiesta week, have a competition as well.
That's a very good point. Everyone's got one of these, and they can.
Yeah, and doesn't need to be just South Oshawa. It can be the entire Oshawa. Make it Oshawa wide too.
True.
Right. So, but if you want to have it at South Oshawa level, I think communication and marketing of our residences, that's super important.
Yeah.
Our neighborhoods, it's super important, and I think it needs to be done. I think, and that's something that I would love to work on as well. I was talking to a friend of mine who's also kind of running. And he introduced this concept of stewardship to me. And then I explored it a little bit further, and you can actually, go to my website and read about it as well. That's actually my very first post.
Good.
So I see that a counselor needs to be a little bit like a steward as well, not just somebody who is, proposing something to the council as well, but somebody who can, bring the community together as well, engage with them, encourage them to do things too, and take proactive steps as well. Why wait till somebody complains to you about a certain neighborhood? Why not go to the neighborhood yourself and see things for yourself? Something which I'm experiencing as well, as I door knock as well, but something that can be done, all throughout your tenure, maybe. Is that the word, tenure? I guess it is.
Yeah, I think that's appropriate.
Yeah. During your, when you're the counselor,
True. Yeah. Like the campaigning doesn't end once you're elected. I feel like, you're campaigning to like you can start campaigning for 4 years from now if you want to stay in that
exactly,
office
and
position.
that's how it should be. That's how it should be. Just
Without truly campaigning, but
not campaigning, but
Yeah.
people want to be listened to.
Yes.
And that is where, sometimes when I go to them, that's what they really appreciate as well. There is somebody who is, come here and, heard me.
Yes. The power of being heard makes you just feel great. Absolutely.
Exactly. So that's super important, and that should not stop, which is also something, that I have on my platform, which is Coffee with the Councillor. Like you have these monthly sessions where you meet in person, like social media, sure. I mean, everybody is there, you can always get feedback from there as well, but you kind of have to meet people in real life as well, because quite frankly, that's when you really learn about every single neighborhood and so on. So that's
and when you're meeting with someone in person too, like you can't if you say something, I can't wait 5 minutes to come up with a response, right? But you can do that on social media. But when you meet with people in person, you're communicating with them on the spot, and so you're putting like this is what I've got, this is who I am, I'm Sid, and here's my reply.
I have changed minds of people as well. When they met me in person, I remember I think I had put out one social media post, got a lot of backlash, and somebody reached out to me, challenged me on something, and then they met me. I told them, okay, yeah, I'll meet you for a coffee chat. We ended up chatting for 2.5 hours or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And at the end, he I won't call him a supporter, but he really empathized with me. And he said, if you continue doing this, you'll get, you'll go places. Those were his words.
Well done. Amazing. That's great. And yeah, you're putting your heart out there and just speaking your truth. And yeah, regardless of what the true solutions and answers are, you're at least just saying how it is, right? And every potential option needs to be put on the table regardless. So
exactly. I mean, I am very solution focused in general. I think I've said that in another interview as well.
Oh yeah.
And that's the kind of approach that I bring to the table. It's thinking about solutions, how we can improve things, how we can make things better, because that scope is always there. You're always thinking about how to make things better. So
yeah, of course. I mean, that's what we all want, is to just live a better life and to solve problems. So that's number one, and that's great, man. Absolutely amazing. I don't even know where to go from that, because that is, hey man, if you can solve everyone's problems, you'll be prime minister. No, I'm just kidding.
So here's what I also think though. Sure, I mean, you can have the best of the best in terms of solving problems, but I think that's not necessarily the only way that you're able to connect with people as well.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there is some X factor that some politicians have as well. Maybe it's charisma. For example, when I think about Olivia Chow is an example that comes to mind immediately, right?
Yes.
I find her really likable, for whatever reasons. And you kind of see, I think she's still leading in polls in Toronto.
Okay.
I have no idea what she's about. I don't know,
what's her platform?
Yeah, what's her platform or anything.
That's a good point. Neither do I, actually.
Yeah, I have no idea. But, I see that, she's doing funny things. Last year, I think when she lost the bet with the Jays game, and she wore the T-shirt of, I think it was Dodgers. I can't remember. I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she wore the their jersey and rode bike because she lost a bet, and she posted that picture. I think that was hilarious, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the kind of things that people relate to and connect with. So I think it's important to also. My larger point is, sure, I mean, it's great. I think it's a great thing that I am a solution oriented as well. Connection is something that is also super important,
right,
I think,
yeah.
So,
because
you can be a problem solver, sure. You kind of have to, connect as well.
Absolutely, yeah, of course. Because otherwise, we're voting for an AI then, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, you said it, man. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. Let me take a look at just what, because we didn't even talk about anything about what I had planned to talk about, but we covered everything actually. And
I think the conversation just naturally flowed. So.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what I like best. I only have these as a backup just in case. I'm going to do a lightning round with some funny questions to end it off.
Okay, funny?
Yeah. Well, not funny, but they're just like a lightning round of questions to get people to know you a little bit more.
All right.
Early bird or night owl?
Night owl.
Night owl? Okay, so you're solving problems at night. Perfect. Favorite local spot in Oshawa?
Currently, it is Friendly Fox restaurant and bar.
Oh, awesome. Sweet. Yes, I do know that one. That's a good one. A book or a podcast that's inspired you recently?
Recently, I would say generally speaking, Brené Brown's overall stuff. Can't remember. I think it was called Braving the Wilderness.
Oh, cool.
It's really inspired me to, take the next step.
Amazing.
Brené Brown is like somebody I would highly recommend to anyone because she really challenges you to put your foot forward, become the person in the arena, so to speak. But in general, my favorite author is Will Durant. He was a historian, American historian, who wrote like big books on ancient history, like
awesome,
and covered all of it. And then his two books were Our Oriental Heritage. It's my absolute favorite book. It's like 50 hours long on audio. And then he wrote a book called Lessons of History, which really changed the way I look at politics. Well, I won't say ironically, but coincidentally.
Yes.
Like the way I look at politics. So it's a very short book, Lessons of History, the best lessons, I would say.
That's awesome. Very cool. I think history is fascinating as well. And people need to absolutely get acquainted with history.
And you will find that, as we were discussing before the podcast, we have way more in common because at the end of the day, all the languages and common roots and all of that. And so on. So we find so much that we have in common, and
absolutely,
than what divides us.
That's very true. Absolutely, I think we live in a funny time now where, I drive a Tesla, but then there's like truck drivers that will just do stupid things around me, and I've got my 2-year-old kid in the car too, and it's funny because that truck driver and me probably would get along very well. Actually, very well, very, I'm more right-leaning and conservative, but I love a lot of things on the left too. So I consider myself kind of centrist in that way.
Me too, actually. I'm actually exactly the same way as well. Like not that anybody asked, but I'm also a little bit, conservative, leaning, but really a centrist as well because I don't. Yeah, I mean, if you move too far either way, that's when you get into problems.
Yeah, no, and we've got to solve problems across the board.
Exactly.
And not just one cohort or one group of people.
Exactly.
But yeah, like you said, there's so much that people can find aligned and connected and similarities and to agree and be like, yeah, I like you. You're a cool dude or something,
It was a lightning round.
Yeah, so that's the lightning round. So man, best of luck on your run, on your campaign.
Oh, so is it done? I mean, more questions.
Do you want it? We can talk more if you like, but I feel like it's believe it or not, it's been an hour and a half.
Oh, okay. Hey,
no, we can. I mean, geez, we can keep going, man.
Up to you. I've made my time for this, so it's on you. It's completely up to you.
Cool. I mean, yeah, why don't we talk whatever comes to mind? So typically episodes have run. Actually, I had a candidate come on who told me we need to stop between 35 and 45 minutes.
Okay.
Right, and she was like, I don't want to go on for too long.
Okay.
Because I just want to keep it efficient. And I'm
okay.
like, amazing. Excellent. And then I've had 2.5 hour long podcasts. Okay. Right. But I'm just saying that to fill the time and talk to you about it.
No. It's all good. I mean, if you had any more questions on the lightning round, let me know.
That's it for the lightning round.
Okay.
But what's coming up ahead for you? Well, here's a quick question for you. So, are there any events that people can find you at or that you're going to attend soon?
Well, right now I'm actually injured as well. So there's
geez. What happened? You're injured?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Well, that's because I'm recovering. Well, I've partially recovered as well. So it was a charity event. It was a dunk tank in Pickering.
Oh, no.
And I landed on my big toe.
Ooh, sorry to hear. Jeez.
Yeah.
Which left or right foot?
It's a right foot.
Oh, so then you're driving with your right foot too.
Yes.
Brutal.
Yeah. So right now, like my momentum for door knocking has reduced a little bit, but I will slowly get back into it. I'm feeling a lot better now.
That's good.
But a fracture was in fact confirmed by the hospital too.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So that's that's what's going on. Don't have anything planned right now in terms of events, but I do have plans for door knocking further.
Nice.
And as for events, as they come, I will be attending them. I try to attend, not all of them, but as much as I can. Being part of the community is super important. But door knocking has been my go-to as well. So.
Door knocking is great because you get to actually talk to people one-on-one, right?
It was very challenging for me initially because I had never done anything of that sort, in my life. I have never been a door knocker. In fact, I would even call myself an introvert mostly.
Yeah.
But quite honestly, I've been doing it now for some time. Not as much as I would like to, but I have been, and. It is like you said, that's when you hear the stories of people, and I think I remember talking to a former premier of BC. Can't remember her name. I think it was Christy Clark. In some context, I can't remember, but she said this is what builds character.
Yeah, definitely, right? Yeah, getting rejected 100 times,
but you know what? People are much I would say 100% of the people have been good to me.
Amazing.
100%. Yeah. Some have said, I don't have time. That's the extent to which, nobody, well, first of all, when you door knock, most of the doors don't actually open. People don't get that, I guess. So, but the ones that do, either they are very nice or they just say, I don't have time. That's my experience thus far. 100%. No bad comments, no get off my porch.
That's great for being on the more negative side and less. Yeah,
there is. Sure. I mean, I don't even see that as a negative. People, it's people's lives that I'm intruding into at the end of the day. So
yeah, of course.
100%. I'm not even saying 99. It's 100%. I have not come across one instance where I felt this is this was not nice.
Yeah. Do you think it's possible to knock on every door in Ward 5 before elections?
That was my goal, honestly, but I don't think I'll. I don't think I'll achieve it. There's about 12,000 doors, and mostly it's me and my wife doing it. And now with my injury, no.
And you can do maybe in a day, a long day, you can maybe do about 250.
That's very ambitious for me personally because I'm not very good with heat as well. So there's that. Yeah. 250 is a very ambitious number. I don't think I've done 250 what's the maximum I've done? Can't remember right now. I think I did 200 once.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, that once. Yes. But that was just one time though. It's just, I don't know. It's just hard.
Right.
And now with my foot, I'll have to see, I have to, be a little bit slow in the game. Coupled with the fact that I have to manage my job as well, so I don't really get much time that way. But at the same time, I make time, still. So whenever I am able to make time, I make time.
Yes.
And I'll be getting back into the game, sooner. Most likely sometime this week or this weekend for sure. Because I don't think you even noticed a limp. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, not at all.
Okay, that's great then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better, but there is still some pain and there is still some, some more healing to occur.
That's terrible. Sorry to hear that happened. And it was for a good cause too.
Hey, well, you know what? It's a story.
Yes.
Every bad experience is a story. So,
True.
What has happened has happened. But I think between door knocking and social media, that's going to be my primary bread and butter.
For sure.
Speak.
Yeah.
And well, we'll see how it goes, whether I'm able to connect. Advantage with door knocking is that you're instantly able to connect with people. People really appreciate that you're making the effort.
That's amazing. That's true. That's a good point, actually.
Yes.
That is a very good point. Because, I've only been thinking of it from the point of view of, like, people live busy lives. But if people see that you're putting in the effort,
Exactly.
they'll give you your time. Because,
they
clearly.
appreciate it a lot, when they see a candidate, at their door, because not a lot of people do that.
That's true.
So there's that too.
Yeah, I mean, between, there's door knocking, there's the blogs, the literature that you can leave behind, coffee meets, podcasts like this to reach the people. Apart from that, there's not, you can comment and reply to people on social media. That's this,
we have to be careful with that as well. Kind of assess, who is a genuine, people sometimes, just troll you as well. So there's that.
I know, right?
There's that too. Sometimes they would leave something bigoted as well.
Yes.
And some folks delete those comments. I leave them because I'm like, you're just exposing yourself.
True.
So, that happens. That happens very rarely, though. Like, and these are not even folks in the city. Somebody from outside, just...
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, when... more than ever, we live in a time, unfortunately, where I feel like people think it's very easy to just do something negative, like leave a nasty comment or a stupid comment, or... like sometimes if you're walking on the street, and someone drives by and they shout something, you didn't even hear what they said, but they shout something, and it's like, were you trying to make me feel bad about me walking on the street or something?
Yeah.
I don't know. We live in this weird world right now, this age where there's a lot of stupid idiots.
The thing is, Well, I won't say for candidates, but when you become like a public figure of some sort, then I guess the threshold for you also raises a little bit. Like you have to just deal with it a little bit more.
True. Yeah, you just need thick skin and just
thick skin and maybe choose your battles. Sometimes you don't have to engage all the time.
True.
Right? So people can write, but they're not coming after you with a gun, hopefully not.
Yeah, of course.
But sometimes it happens to some politicians.
That's insane.
But those are extreme politicians, I guess.
Right.
But I guess for, general folks, public figures, people are going to ridicule you. They'll say you look like a clown or something. But then, you laugh at it and move on.
I suppose, right? Yeah, they are the jesters in the world. And it's just silly. There's... I just wish more people cared about problem solving and working towards living in a utopian world. Even though it's if it's impossible to achieve, let's at least try. Let's not just who cares? Let's drink every day and watch Sunday football and not care about anything and just not care about the future or no. Let's care about those things. And I think that. I have a feeling that most people that are common sense, like you and I, and like most people, I think that we're quieter. Because we're tired from working hard for a better future, and we don't participate in the nonsense, right? Like we see the nonsense, and it's the loud minority that are crazy.
Yeah.
And it's just like they look like there's a lot of people that are crazy, but it's not. It's a small.
That's a good
small,
point. That's a great point.
Population.
Absolutely, 100%, and you nailed it. Most of the folks who are, writing, spreading negativity, let's just say in general, we just have to learn to ignore it.
Yeah.
Because not every battle is worth picking. Right?
They literally have nothing else better to do, and that's not even just a saying. Like they actually, literally, that's sad. They had nothing else better to do. They didn't have a hobby to do that enriches their lives. They didn't go for a walk or exercise or care for a young child. And maybe they did have all those things, but they chose to prioritize leaving a nasty, stupid comment. That just speaks volumes to, and if you're one of those people that are listening right now, maybe just focus on those other things. If you have any other of those things, if you don't have a hobby, find a hobby. If you haven't gone outside and walked through the park, walk through the park. If you don't have kids, that's fine. That's your decision. You don't need to have kids. But I think, I think that's one of the most enriching things you can do. But if you're not capable, adopt or, or be like a Big Brother little program something, because what an amazing thing to do is to guide and give counsel to someone younger than you and to help raise them, even if you don't have children or want children, doesn't matter. So for the stupid trolls on the internet, we see you and you can't harm us. Yeah, I've been thinking about having debates like in the studio. I've been thinking about it's getting hot because we have to turn the AC off because it's loud.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that's why we're sweating.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay.
I was thinking about having debates,
Like Jubilee style?
live debates, live, not pre-recorded, live. We've got something like 2.5 gigabits a second internet. We can feed it right into the Ethernet and get those speeds up and down, and we can live stream.
What kind of debates, though?
Political debates.
Oh.
So like in Ward 5 City Councillor, Regional Councillor, there's only two I see. There's Kristen and Brian. With Ward 5 City Councillor, I think there's like 5 of you running. Let's have all 5 of you in front of the table, a table, give you like a microphone with a light, all connected. Whoever hits the light first gets to, it's like Jeopardy.
I don't know. I have to think about that one.
I know. Yeah, it's.
I think not political, but I would say there is merit to discussing, bigger ideas like monk debate. Have you seen the monk debates?
No. What's this?
I attended one of them. And I think one of the speakers was Jordan Peterson.
Amazing.
And then can't remember her name, but she. This is just. Is it going to be live as well?
We're live and we're recording, so that's fine. But this is raw.
Okay.
I say stupid things and it gets published. It's fine.
No worries. So I can't remember like who else it was, but I think the topic was more about the meaning of life.
Okay.
And where does it come from, or something like that.
Okay. So monk debates is this idea of more deeper questions and talking.
Yes.
Amazing. Love that.
Yes. Yeah. So, and they have debates around immigration, bigger topics, like more about, or have you seen Jubilee?
Yes.
Jubilee is really intense, where you have one speaker and you have like 12 guys surrounding him. And then, it's like there's a timer, and then somebody comes in, whoever gets to the chair first, they get to have a conversation with the speaker. So it can be pretty nasty as well.
So that's not, I don't want that to be the goal. I'm not trying.
But if you're going to have a debate, I think that is what it will turn into, a shouting
You're probably right.
Shouting match.
You're absolutely right. I know, right? Unfortunately, we live in a time where...
Unless you have Oxford-style debate, which is different. Oxford-style debate, I don't know if you've seen those. So then there is no interjection. So it's not like a candidate-style debate, US style.
Right, which is all very entertaining,
Yes, it's just entertainment, and you really, like, this kind of podcast is much more preferable because you can, speak your mind freely, but those are mainly for sound bites, like those candidate debates, US ones.
True.
But Oxford style is kind of like a hybrid between this and that. So you have multiple speakers, but they make their point, and then you take turns. To interject. You get like 10 minutes to speak, speak your mind. And then those are like, again, this house believes, blah, 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 blah. So there's a certain proposition, and then there's a for, there's an against.
I think that's a great system. And I think sometimes the US does that. Like they have like, I don't know, maybe not. Maybe it is more entertaining though. The Oxford style, like you're saying, for like a debate is amazing. 10 minutes is a very good amount of time to hear someone's point of view fully.
Oh yeah.
For them to, it's like an essay. Like you can give an essay in 10 minutes. Here's my introduction. Here's my hook. Here's my introduction. Here's the reason. Here's my 3 backing up points why. Here's my conclusion. And then, you can really reply to that essay, and the other people can talk about it.
And in my personal thing also is that I think at municipal level, at the end of the day, we are all neighbors as well.
True.
So debating my own neighbor as well, like I don't know. That's one thing that concerns me.
It could very quickly get ugly.
However, debates are a part of democracy.
This is true.
At the end of the day, so I have a very open mind about it, but I haven't given it too much thought because I do know that mayors do debate. I think, right?
I think there was a time where they in Durham we used to.
Okay.
And I think COVID happened, and then I think maybe it's coming back. I'm not totally sure if it's.
What about candidate debates? Did they used to happen as well? And
not sure, to be honest.
Board level.
Yeah, I mean,
I've heard some stories though. I've heard some stories.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I agree with you that it would, if it's not done correctly and it's just a chaotic gladiators arena, what's the purpose of it then? The point is to have people speak their minds and let. It would be an easy outlet for potential voters to see everyone in a single glance, essentially. And yes, unfortunately, it's true that maybe you need a bit of charisma and be able to, make your points heard. And
but that's part of it, though.
That's it is.
I mean, that's part of if you want to be a politician, I think charisma is super important too.
Yes.
I don't know if I have it or not, but
I think you do. Well, I mean, you can carry a conversation on for an hour and 40 minutes. So,
I guess that counts. But I mean, it's part of it. It's part of the package, right?
Olivia, I only brought it up because, I thought I've been thinking about it a little bit and really thought about it today, and it's
and see, I started solutioning already.
Yeah, and that's the point. I wanted to bounce it off of you, right? I don't know if I'm. I don't know. Yeah, and I love that. Thank you for here. I've got a few other problems you can help me solve.
Yeah,
no,
sure. Tell me.
So my mortgage.
Oh, I see.
We're all good there. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it would be fun if it was civil and done well.
That's the challenge, keeping it civil. And I think it's super important that if I'm imagining it, I would do it this way. You have all the speakers kind of sitting.
Yes.
One person stands and takes a podium or something.
Okay.
And then you ask them a question, and then maybe some version of pass the pillow. Whoever has the pillow can speak.
That'd be fun to do something a little bit lighthearted, literally have a pillow. Pass the pillow. Hey. You get the pillow, you get it for 10 minutes, okay?
Yeah.
Pass the potato. Here's the potato.
And then people can also see who's a rule breaker.
True.
They can judge them.
That's funny. Gosh, the last thing I want to do is make a what's it called? What's Survivor? Oh my God! It's reality TV shows. The last thing I want to do. We don't even.
We're just spitballing.
Yeah, exactly. Politics is already a reality TV show. They don't need my help to make it more like that. Yeah. It would be really good though, and there might be a lighthearted way to do it. And the reason why I care and think about it is because imagine how many people could watch it, and
of course,
and what if the right person gets elected because of that? That's huge, right? That's what I care about, right? And that's why I have candidates come on the show, because I want to hear what they're all about. Even though I have no voting power in South Oshawa.
No, personally, I prefer this, and I would say, I think over a period of time, a lot of candidates have also realized, podcast is better than debates, because debates are 100%. About sound bites more than anything else. So I remember back in 2020 or was it 2019, Tulsi Gabbard completely killed Kamala Harris in the debates.
Yes.
But then Kamala Harris became the vice president anyway.
True. Right. Yeah, I do remember that.
So what impact the debate has on people, that itself can be debatable. That's one point. But it could be fun.
Right.
True. It could be fun. It could go viral. Somebody says something ridiculous. that's...
I don't even wish for that. I didn't even think of that until you said it, to be honest. I don't even want it. I wouldn't even want it to go viral for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
If a large portion of the voting population of that ward watched it, right? And then if it's a mayor debate, that's crazy. That's awesome.
I think Mayor debate is something that you should definitely think about, though.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
For like at least, well, you're in Whitby. Are you based in Whitby as well, or is this just your workplace?
Though this is our workplace. Grew up, essentially born and raised, not born in Whitby, but lived in Whitby for 25 years. And then bought in Curtis because it was, you go where you can afford.
So you live in Curtis?
No, now I live in Newtonville.
Where's that?
Exactly. Nobody knows where Newtonville is, and I love it for that reason. It's still in the Durham region. It is the most east Durham region. So it's so Curtis, Bowmanville, Newcastle, Newtonville,
okay,
and then Port Hope, which is north.
Oh, so just before Port Hope, yeah.
Yes,
I mean, we go to Port Hope all the time.
Amazing, isn't it? It's such a beautiful little town.
Yeah. So we go to this particular beach where you have the ice cream as well. It's a very small
Coburg.
beach.
You're thinking of Coburg?
No.
Oh, Port Hope. Oh,
yes,
there is a beach in Port Hope too.
It's a very small beach. It's a
You're
south beach. I can't remember, like it's east beach. Like it doesn't have a name or anything.
Yes, it is on the east side of the river.
Yeah. And then you have the ice cream shop is right there. Cover the ice cream.
Yeah. We went for brunch there too. Same owners as the ice cream shop. Great. Beautiful small mom and pop shop.
Yes. That's
just
the one.
great.
Yeah.
Great. Like Port Hope is literally beautiful.
Oh yeah.
It's almost like a portion of Liberty Village got picked up and dropped an hour east without the crazy of Liberty Village either. But not that I'm calling it crazy, just Toronto in general really is. Like hustle and bustle, not the people.
A few of my favorite places like Port Hope, Coburg, obviously, and then Port Perry, like really cute towns, I think, in general.
100%. Yeah. So that's why I love, there's no mayor of Newtonville or wards.
Scugog, right?
Scugog's more north, actually. So it's Clarington.
Oh, sorry. Yes, Scugog will be north.
That's okay. You don't need to worry and bother about Clarington.
No. So I remember because I actually, I have been keeping an eye on Scugog as well. Well, and in Clarington too.
Yeah, Durham region is super interesting.
Yeah,
Brock Township, like you drive an hour up north and you're still in the Durham region.
And there's what's it called? Like Warsaw Caves, I think. Have you been there?
The Woodstock Caves?
No, Warsaw. Like Poland.
Oh, Warsaw.
Yeah, I think that's what it's called. Like it's actually a really nice place.
I know. I need my own Jamie. Like there's a guy on the Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan. Yeah, I know Jamie.
I need a Jamie.
Everybody knows Jamie.
Jamie, what's the Warsaw Caves?
Yeah, it's actually like caves.
Conservation area.
Yeah.
It's Dummer, Ontario. I don't know if that's considered the Durham region.
No, it's not. It's not.
Okay.
I'm just talking about places to visit. Random. It's completely random.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's actually at a distance, but worth going.
It's really funny. Like, a lot of people in the Durham region, like the core Durham region, Pickering, Ajax, Whitby, Oshawa, Brooklyn, even Bowmanville. They don't know the amazingness that exists just 20 minutes.
Unless you've been there, right? So I knew about Port Hope, right?
Yeah.
I also know about Belleville because I've been there. Like, I go all the time to Port Hope and all of that. So that's the thing, if, with like, smaller cities and towns, like if you know about them, everybody knows about Orono, I guess.
Yeah, most people probably do. Yeah.
Right. So,
but I bet you they wouldn't be able to point it on a map.
Probably.
Right. Yeah. I only know Orono where it exists because it interjects with the 407 and the 115.
I only know it because, when I started dating my wife, she would take me there for breakfast.
Orono is very beautiful. There's a new Irish pub going in downtown Orono. Famous.
That's my T-shirt.
Oh, very good. There's I think it's like a famous football player. We call
Roy
it
Keane.
Huh?
Was Roy Keane? That's the only one I know from Ireland, I think.
I don't know.
Robbie Keane.
I'm not sure, but I think he's a retired football player, what we call soccer here, and he's opening up a pub in Orono.
Oh, he lives here now?
I believe so. I don't know. Maybe I'm not supposed to be saying celebrities who live in the area. No, I don't think that he cares or matters.
Speaking of celebrities... never mind, it's all good. But
I was
just giving an interesting bit of trivia. So,
Sure.
we grew up reading these novels. You may have heard of Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew,
Okay, definitely.
right?
Yeah.
So, Hardy Boys was written by a guy called Franklin W. Dixon. Franklin W. Dixon is a pseudonym adopted by a bunch of different writers. Like, I think it was a company that would employ a bunch of writers.
Oh my God.
And turns out that the guy who wrote most of Hardy Boys actually was a Whitby guy whose burial site is actually in Oshawa.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
So it was a very weird kind of a connection to my childhood as well, because we grew up on those books,
Yeah, right.
So
yeah, that's awesome. Hey, you know what? Random things happen on the podcast.
Exactly.
Speaking of, and it doesn't matter at all, but I'm more curious and whatever.
Yeah.
When did you come here? And yeah, like you said your childhood. That's why that triggered.
So, are you talking about me coming to Canada or coming here in Oshawa?
Like, what time did you come here to the podcast? No, I guess whatever. It doesn't matter. Either Canada and Oshawa.
2015, when I came for my MBA.
Uh-huh.
Moved to Oshawa in 2019. Got married here, with an old Oshawa family.
Beautiful.
Briefly, we moved to Toronto for about, I think, 6 or 7 months.
Okay. Didn't like it?
No, not at all. But when my wife wanted to, she's been living here for a long time, so she kind of wanted a little change as well. But
oh, fair enough.
then we immediately moved back as well. My wife has, some health issues too, so we wanted to be, much more closer to the family.
Fair enough.
So yeah, my wife herself, she was born and brought up here. Live near the Olive Avenue, which is like a very used to be. The Polish area, of its time, like Polish-Ukrainian.
Okay.
So my wife is Polish-Ukrainian, so
Makes sense. Awesome. Very good. Yeah. Now there's the Greek churches there off of Olive and Farewell that they bought, I think, about 5-7 years ago or something, maybe give or take. I only know that because I'm Greek.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I only ask because, like a part of this podcast is like, this is forever, right? We live in this time where like, your descendants and or family members 100 years from the future is going to be like, what was Sid up to? What was great uncle Sid up to in 2026 in some random guy's warehouse unit, right? So it's just it doesn't matter for elections or politics at all, but it's just good to hear, like,
no, of course,
and
100%.
to hear about people,
And
right?
yeah, absolutely. Like again, like I said, I am Hindu, in origin, grew up in New Delhi.
You know what I would love is I wish people were exposed to more cultures and religions in a very real way. Like attend a Hindu ceremony, wedding ceremony. I've captured over 1,000 South Asian weddings. Majority, I'd say 50% of them are more Muslim, Pakistani, mostly. For 2 brothers that I used to work for in Mississauga. And then that would extend to Brampton, Etobicoke, and Hamilton. And then the other 25% would be Sikh and 25% Hindu.
Oh, okay.
And then sometimes there would be split Sikh and Hindu ceremonies.
Yes.
So it's like 45 minutes Sikh Hindu, and then the bride goes, changes into another outfit, and then comes back, and then an hour-long Hindu ceremony. And my favorite part, I'm a little silly for saying this, but my favorite part as a videographer and photographer, right? I got my camera low, and what's the priest's name? Again, what's the not imam? That's Pakistani.
Pandit?
Yes, exactly. So where he's like swaha,
yes,
and he's dropping the rice.
You know that?
Yes, of course I do. I've seen literally hundreds of these,
Yep.
and I think the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because how beautiful it is. Because like when for someone that knows nothing about what it means to be Hindu, like I feel like they're missing out, and it's a real damn shame that they should,
They do that in the fire, right?
Yes.
Swaha. So this is where, this is what also connects us as, this is something that I was talking to you about earlier as well. So that ceremony that you just saw, I would like to think, and I think I should be fact checked on this, but I'm probably like a little bit, on the right track here. It comes from the Vedic ceremony. So Vedic means from the Vedas. Do you know about the Vedas?
A little bit, only like
Okay.
Superficial.
So it is said that the Vedas are the oldest documents of the entire Indo-European culture.
Essentially the world, basically. But yeah.
Well, Indo-European culture. I don't say the world because I don't really know, like if there is something in the Egyptian pyramids or not.
Right.
Because that was a
True.
completely different set of people. But when I say Indo-European, I basically mean like the Hindus and the Europeans as well. So it's a common document that kind of connects us as well. My knowledge on this is incomplete, but there is 4 Vedas. The oldest of them is called the Rigveda, written in ancient Sanskrit, which has been deciphered to some extent, understood mostly, but it was when they actually came across the Rig Vedas, that is when they found that this language, which is the ancient Vedic Sanskrit, how close it resembled to Greek and Latin.
Wow.
And that's how they kind of connected the dots, that maybe there was a time, there was one set of people who kind of migrated in, different directions, and that's how the language also evolved. You'll be shocked to know that the language spoken in Lithuania as of today closely resembles that Sanskrit as well.
Yeah.
And that's just like it blows the mind.
Yeah.
You can actually, check on, go to AI or whatever,
Sure.
and see like what all words are common between Sanskrit and Lithuanian, like of all places, like in,
Wow.
in
That's
Europe.
amazing. And who knows, there could have been some connection in some way that we can't even fathom, or we hypothesize, but we deem it too otherworldly to consider potentially.
Well, I mean, that's not something that we can prove one way or the other, but this we can actually decipher that, we know what ancient Greek was like. We know what ancient Latin was like. We know what ancient Sanskrit was like. The words that we have in common, I think English basically came like from Germanic. I think it has Germanic origin. So that's why so many words are so common. But then so many words are common between English and Hindi as well, and all the many South Asian languages too.
That's fascinating.
So that's how you kind of, so when you talked about Swaha, that immediately triggered the thought of the Vedic ceremony. This is a Vedic ritual described in the Rig Veda or some other Vedas as well. Like when you read the Rig Vedas, there are a bunch of chants, worships, and prayers to gods. Like sun god, fire god is pretty big in there. So it's called Agni. Agni is the word for fire god.
Yes.
In Hindi or Sanskrit or both. And if I'm not wrong, I think when you think of Agni and then you think about igniting and and so on. So I think I think the word in Lithuanian is probably exactly the same as well.
Yeah, probably. I feel like you're right. Yeah.
So again, coming back to this, all of those rituals also kind of unite us.
That's so true.
At an ancient level.
Yeah, right. And that's beautiful. That's very well said. And I think there was probably a very literal connection. Forget the gentleman's name, but there's like, I feel like there's more evidence pointing towards a cataclysmic event that probably split most of the world. Like I think it's called the Younger Dryas, if I'm not mistaken, something like that.
You mean the continents and all?
Yeah, well, not so much the continents. That's probably millions of years ago, but something more like between 10 and 12, 15,000 years ago, potentially.
Oh, okay. Well, I wouldn't be able to know about that, but what I just described to you is known as, I think it's called Pontic-Caspian Steppes theory. This is the most accepted theory today, that people from the Pontic-Caspian Steppes moved this way and that way.
Okay, that makes sense.
But there are debates around this as
sure.
well. Like, what was the origin point? People in India say that, India or part of it closer to Iran or modern day Afghanistan, that was probably the original homeland. So today the debate is more about what was the original homeland. Nobody debates that, we are the same people, by the way.
True.
So this is kind of settled, that we are kind of like the same people who kind of,
right.
migrated this way and that way, and then we mingled, and
Yeah, and it's just like the natural
Yep.
seasons and environments that kind of changes us over many
Genes,
generations.
They were native people as well, so all of that
Right.
happened as well. But really, the debate is now about what was the original homeland, and so yeah, they've done some. I mean, you can see like I've done some of my own research on it, but I rely on scholars.
Yeah, of course.
On this because it's
right, they dedicate their entire lives
Exactly.
and have it peer reviewed.
Exactly. So,
yeah.
but it's super fascinating to look at, like all these theories, and when you actually like read about this debate itself, it's a whole world of its own.
Yes. We need to always be looking back to history to keep reminding ourselves. I feel like the greatest politicians, and it's such a dirty word, I just want to call them like our counselors, quite literally. Like I feel like that's a better word, or our leaders, or whatever. The best of them are people that can fit many hats. Analytical, on a human level, on a decision level, charismatic, but then also on a philosophical level too.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like if you can be like a philosopher, king/queen, whatever, and you can bring reason to the table and mediate between conflict.
Absolutely.
Like that, those are the people that we need.
I agree with you.
So history, philosophy, huge. And, especially in like the Indo-Asian area too, I remember Napoleon Bonaparte said one time, like during his conquering phase, he looks at China and he's like, when he said something along the lines of like, when the dragon awakes, the world is gonna know. And I feel like the dragon has awoken.
So China is super fascinating to me, and in fact, I would say the book that I recommended, Our Oriental Heritage by Will Durant. So it looks at history of multiple countries and regions, including India and China as well, and Japan. I actually studied Japan extensively as well, how they modernized themselves and everything, and it was super fascinating to me.
So crazy to think that you had Japan in World War II, part of the Axis, and then where it is today, being like a very capitalist nation, but in its own very different way too.
So it was capitalist, like Japan. I mean, I don't know if we have time, but I can rant on, man.
Let's go. Okay, we're into it now. All right. Well. As long as we have time on the cameras, let's see. We've got 40 minutes, and probably similar there.
We'll see. We'll see where this goes. So I was very fascinated by how Japan modernized itself.
Yeah, right.
And actually, I mean, you can go to my YouTube channel as well.
Oh, cool. You have a YouTube channel?
I do, but it's like, sometimes I make videos. Sometimes
it's a hobby.
It's more a hobby. Like when I want to, like I do it, but otherwise, like...
I was going to say, how dare you? You didn't mention a YouTube channel earlier.
So I made some videos on the history of Japan, and how it modernized itself. So it started with actually the Americans landing in Japan. So there was a guy, Commodore Perry. He landed, I think, about 1857, I think thereabouts. He landed there, and Japan at the time was not even aware that America existed as a country. We're talking like how much time had passed? 1776, 80 years had passed. That's how cut off Japan was.
The mid 1800s.
Yeah. Holy moly. Like 80 years had passed since American independence, right? 1776.
Oh my God, yeah. So, and for Japan, which we consider a world power today.
Yeah, at that time it was living in its own little universe. Okay, so the Americans landed there with their big guns. Okay, they pretty much forced them to sign a treaty and to open it up. And that's when Japan realized, what have we been doing? Like, we have not been modernizing ourselves at all. So this awakening came afterwards. And then there was a whole, can't remember now, but Meiji Restoration, that is what it is called. The Meiji Restoration, they actually sent people to Europe and brought experts from Europe and decided we need to Europeanize ourselves. So they modernized themselves, basically borrowed all the ideas from modern Europe, and that's why you see Japan looking so much like modern Europe, or more like, Europe, because they proactively took measures to modernize themselves
Wow.
in that mold. And there was a whole debate around the culture and things and all of that happened.
Sure.
But as they modernized, they also came across Darwinian theories, survival of the fittest. That is when it started becoming more and more and more autocratic. We need more land, we need more land, we need more land. And they started attacking all the countries around them. They actually attacked Russia around 1904, and they won that war against Russia. And that was the first time a nation power had defeated I guess Russia can be called European. So that was the first time anybody had witnessed anything like it. And that is when the world actually started respecting Japan. And then they just became more and more autocratic. Like the dictators pretty much took over. People kind of supported that as well, because they all said, okay, we are the best, again, Darwinian, right? So they really believed in it, and they wanted to kind of dominate the whole region. That's why they started attacking China and all of it. And that's ultimately culminated into the World War.
Wow.
And then ultimately, of course, they were defeated, but they had the wisdom to not let their ego come in the way. So when America won, they surrendered to America and they agreed to their terms. But then America really helped them, in rebuilding and everything.
That's amazing.
Have you seen the movie Godzilla -1?
It's on my list, and I know that Godzilla -0 is coming out too
Yes.
soon.
I've seen that movie 3 times in theaters. It's my favorite movie. Not because of Godzilla, because I hate Godzilla movies. I think there was only one Godzilla movie that I saw afterwards, but they are the most ridiculous movies. This movie, though, it is in the background of this movie is a commentary on Japan's mistakes in World War.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, World War II specifically, and what we did wrong, what we need to do better. It starts with, I'm probably giving spoilers here. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe.
Well, even for my sake or anyone else's potentially, but
But it's a great movie.
Yes.
That's all I'll say. It's a wonderful movie. It's beautiful story arc. The hero's journey is beyond amazing. And it's not just for the monster, but it's the emotion in the movie and the background commentary about the mistakes that Japan made during World War II and how it wanted to redeem itself.
Awesome.
Afterwards. And of course, the Japanese people, they are diligent. That's why we see Japan, even after so much destruction from the World War and everything, they had the wisdom to, accept defeat and then, take the right measures and everything. So that's why we see them, where they are. At one point of time, they were competing with the US, but then I don't know what happened. In the 80s, I think the economy tanked.
Right.
But yeah, Japan is a great example of, resiliency. China, on the other hand, so I've studied some China as well. Couple of books. One of them is this one, Our Oriental Heritage. That's how I kind of understood the Chinese, the ancient China and all of that. But really, you need to read a little bit of. This is a controversial man. Not everybody likes him, and I'm aware of that. His name is Henry Kissinger.
Oh,
he's very famous. He wrote a book called On China, and I think there is one more book that I read. The author is Hank Paulson. I can't remember. I think it's called Dealing with China. You read those books, you realize the leaders in China are very well aware of their history as well. And the thing with China is that, and this was confirmed by Henry Kissinger, thing with China is that their glorious days were very much in the recent past. Meaning I'm talking about either 19th century or 18th century.
right.
That's how recent it was for China to be one of the biggest GDPs in the world.
Wow.
So this is something that the Chinese leaders are aware of as well. And I think to some extent they want to most ancient civilizations talk about a golden age, but China's golden age was just there,
Interesting.
That's why they remember it. It's it's there in the memory of the nation. That's what I kind of learned. And this is why you see them making an effort, because the terms that they used for, when the British came to China, they called them barbarians. Yeah. So that's how they kind of looked at the Western world. They looked down upon the Western world at the time.
Yeah.
But now, obviously, they're so. Point being, that their leaders are, they want to regain that lost glory which was there in in very, very recent memory, so to speak.
Yeah, totally.
Of course, and then the revolution happened and millions died, and that is something that unforgivable, basically.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't even know enough about the history of China to really make a comment, but all I see nowadays is how beautiful it looks, the cities, and you can walk into a hospital or a health clinic and get looked and taken care of and walk out within 3 hours, whereas you're on a 6-month wait list here. And there's all these examples that we're hearing about, the standard there is incredible, right? But maybe there's something else that we need to be careful of.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I would not advocate whatever works for one set of people is not going to work for another set of people, right?
Yeah.
So, China has chosen its path. We can study it, what works there, and if there are some points that we want to bring, obviously nobody wants a dictatorship.
No,
doesn't work here. We're a democracy, so
right.
So there's that as well. So that's what I'll say.
Yeah, excellent. Sid, we've gone through a lot.
Yeah.
We've talked about dictatorships, but you're not a dictator. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm the opposite. I'm the exact opposite.
Yeah, no, literally. You're like the ideal politician and candidate to be running. So really appreciate your time. I could probably go for another 2 hours, but I've got a little one to kiss goodnight.
No, of course.
Yeah. So how can people find you and follow you?
I am on Facebook, very active there. You can go to facebook.com/electsidgoyal. Electsidgoyal.ca is also my campaign website. I post policy blogs there. So you can always, visit there. I'm always up for dialogue. Message me and I'll have a coffee chat with you as well, one-on-one. Nothing beats that. So that's how you find me. And I'm here on this podcast too.
Yes, yeah. And the cool thing about this podcast is there's going to be a 2-hour long episode that people can watch. And then we're also going to cut it down, not into sound bites, but into a digestible
I've seen it.
discussions,
yeah.
right? Mm-hmm. It's a good 30 seconds to 60 seconds cut up, about 40 shorts.
Okay.
And they're very good because it's not like what's the word? It's not misconstruing the truth or your truth in any way. It's just here it is, and it's long enough that people can not have to watch the whole episode if they don't want to.
I trust.
Because unfortunately, short attention spans.
Oh yeah. No, for sure, 100%.
Yeah.
And I trust you, Pascal.
Awesome.
You come across as a very good faith person.
Thank you.
In general. So that's no, absolutely.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Sid.
It was a huge pleasure. Honestly, this was my first time. I didn't know how I would do. I don't know how it will look on camera because sometimes in the flow everything sounds really nice, but then I look at myself in the camera and I'm like,
no, it's good. I think it's great. Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird thing seeing yourself on camera, hearing your voice if you don't often, because usually you hear it between your ears, literally.
No, I'm used to it. I'm used to that part. I'm
Yeah.
used to hearing my voice on the camera because I make videos myself all the time. It's just that
Oh, very good.
I don't know what I will come across as here. I'll probably be cringing.
No, I don't think so. And you know what? That's very humble of you to say, which speaks volumes in and of itself. But I think it's, and you may have a whole swath of people that will digest this in their own way, whether they love it or
it is what it is,
question
man.
it. You can't make everyone happy.
No.
But, I think it's, thank you so much for your time. I think it's awesome. I love doing this.
Yeah, me too. Likewise. This was amazing. I wasn't thinking of 2 hours, but
yeah, whether you become counselor or not, would love to have you come back on and talk all about ancient history.
Absolutely.
Even if you're a counselor, let's still.
Absolutely.
You'll probably be very busy, but I'm sure we can fit in some time.
No, I'll make time for sure. I love chatting about this. It's just, very hard to find people who are also interested in, history.
Yes.
Well, actually, when you start talking to people, generally, conversations, everybody kind of likes history. They kind of want to,
it's more. Like, it's funny. Like you said it, right? About how people don't realize how much they have in common and similarity, like very much so. Like if you like, there really are like two camps of like people that are like either like in it and like love the world and everything it's all about, or there's like people that are just don't care and they're destroyers and they just want to watch the world burn.
That's true.
It really is split between those two.
Yeah.
And I won't go further than that. But like I feel like so many people can talk about the big things that are going to transcend our lives, and decide how our descendants are going to live as well too. We can talk about the 1800s, but we can only theorize about the 2200s, right? So it's going to be very interesting.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Sid, for coming on.
Thank you
very
Pastor,
much
for
appreciated.
No,
yes, absolutely.
Likewise.
Yeah, it's totally fun. Awesome time.
Awesome.
Best of luck on your campaign.
Thank you so
and
much.
we'll definitely have you back on.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Wicked.
Pastor.